I'm Craig. That's my brother Brad. Welcome to Weekdays with Craig and Brad. It's episode 47, Brad. Yay, we made it.
We made it. You know, I was thinking, if we make a shirt, why don't we make a shirt, Craig, for the show that just says, hey, we made it.
What do you think? Would there be like I think that sounds awesome. What should we what are we celebrating? Maybe it's a car on a map, like going around, and then the end is like, like a YouTube thing. By the way, I was thinking we should diversify a little bit, and we should do some alt tech. We should be on more than YouTube, because YouTube's probably going to cancel us. So I'm just going to let you know that.
Yeah, so, you think so? You think we're on the verge of being canceled?
I don't know. I think we're speaking too logically for people.
Oh yeah. Look. We read the comments that you guys post on YouTube. Craig and I personally read those. We respond to some of them. Look, I don't know. What are you seeing out there?
I mean, for the most part, people are pretty level-headed, but we've learned very quickly that YouTube is not a fan of level-headedness.
Well, yes, that's obvious. Yeah,
this has been a common theme in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
level-headedness and thought-provoking conversation is not something that is allowed on this platform anymore. So
yeah, well, it's hard because you can look at the ratio of thumbs up and thumbs down sometimes, and it's like, oh, we got doing pretty good on the thumbs up there. But then like you'll see like I logged in earlier today when we went, like before we went live, and there's 3 people waiting. I just peeked in, right? We already had a thumbs down. And I was like, the show hasn't even been on. You didn't even listen to what we had to say.
But how many thumbs up did we have?
I don't know, like 1,000.
Well, we weren't even on. How do you even know we're getting a thumbs up?
Yeah, but it's just silly, like people get on just to do thumbs up or thumbs down, but you can let that stuff get you down. I don't get it down. I don't get down from thumbs down because it's just somebody that's like, I'm gonna log on every day. Like, for some reason there are people that log on every day to watch this show just to give it a thumbs down. And
no, listen, there's one thing, one of my favorite lines. Do you remember the movie Private Parts about Howard Stern?
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where they're talking about his ratings? Where they go, look, he has a, whatever it was, he's got huge ratings, right? Bigger than Amos and Andy or whatever it was, right? And he's like doubling him up, and he goes, yeah, but I don't understand. Everybody hates him. And he goes, well, the people who listen to him, they tune in to hear what he's going to say next. He goes, yeah, but what about the people who hate him? They tune in longer to see what he's going to say next. It's like the average person who listens to him for 45 minutes. The average person who hates him listens to him for an hour and a half because they want to see what he's going to say next. It's pretty fascinating stuff. So
it is fascinating. It's funny because I think like you and I can attest to this. Like, we spent the better part of our careers trying to sort of just walk down the middle of the road and make sure we don't like upsetting people, but like, I think that we're not even trying to upset anybody with this show. We're just having conversations, right? Yeah. But people tend to interject themselves, and then they're like, I don't know if it's just making them think too hard or something, but you know what? Whatever.
I think that's the most fascinating thing, is like, no one here is trying to upset anybody. We're just trying to talk and have conversation, which
right. It's one of those things, like if it was outside of the internet in the real world, and you're standing in line at the grocery store and like you overheard 2 people talking, like, you can either mind your own business,
thumbs down your conversation.
Or do you just like butt in and you're like, excuse me, I don't like what you're saying, and they're like looking at you like, you don't have to listen to us. You can.
I would. That would be such an amazing skit to go in and like to walk up and be like, thumbs up for this conversation, and then like you go like, thumbs down.
Yeah, and you could actually gauge people's energy too. Like to like, if you zoomed in on their faces, like after they get a thumbs up, they'd probably be like, oh good, thumbs down, they'd be like, what the heck, Well,
I'll tell you this. Apparently, YouTube has changed their algorithm now. Start the year, and commenting is the most important thing. One of the most important things. So if you're watching on YouTube, your comments are incredibly important. I don't care. Just tell us about your favorite pizza. Just tell us, get in the comments and talk to us, because we read everyone, and you could potentially have the opportunity to be the YouTube comment of the day. That's pretty good, wasn't it?
That was great, Craig. Thanks. Good segue.
It's like I've it's like I've been doing this for 15 years or so. Hey, check it out. The YouTube comment of the day comes from Christopher Abel. Says, I barely follow anything on social media or the news because I'm sick of everyone spewing hate or whoever disagrees with them. But then I come here every day, and it's two chill dudes who just want to talk about whatever to whoever. Y'all are seriously a ray of sunshine on a dark web. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Christopher. You are the YouTube comment of the day. That's so great.
That's a good comment of the day. Thank you for that thank you for the kindness.
See, that's the type of comments I want to see. That's outstanding. Man, so look, we got some big stuff going on. By the way, guys, thank you so much for popping in tonight. This is becoming a regular staple of your evening, and I appreciate this. I appreciate you guys popping in over on Twitch, which is great. I see Noodles Hackintosh hanging out, DJ Mike Fury, Tom in here, Indy Jones once again, first one in the chat tonight. Now, technically, I saw Ty early on was also in, asking when the show starts. Just so you know, generally around 8:30 p.m., somewhere around there. Yeah, we do a little prep. Talk about what we're going to talk about, then we get at it, and when we invite you guys to be a part of it. So it's super fun. Like look at this. Here it is. First person duders just popping and says hello. Well, hello, first person duders. What's going on?
Hey, pull up Noodles Hackintosh's First is the Worst, because I read this and they say first is the worst, second is the best, third is a turd. But I grew up with this. I got it. What is third? What is third, Craig?
The one with the hairy chest.
That's right. First is the worst, second is the best, third is the one with the hairy chest. Now, that might be a great comeback challenge, bring it back challenge.
That's right. We
next week, maybe.
I think next week. I think we space out the bring it back challenge every couple weeks or so, because there's a lot to bring back.
There's so much to bring back.
We can't just bring it all back at once.
No.
By the way, if anybody ever wants to just bring it back at any time, whether it's psych or up your button around the corner, you can still send that to us. We will absolutely feature it. I mean, I think that's really important. So for sure. This is going to be an excellent night, man. Look at this. Chacho says, I learned it as third is the one in a polka dot dress.
Interesting. Wow. See, we're all learning about each other.
See, this is what conversation does.
Yeah.
This is great.
The thing I like about the Bring It Back Challenge and these old phrases is that there are modifications, and I wonder where geographically they changed. I wonder what was the origin, right? Like some guy in Ohio at some point was like, "Oh yeah, first is the worst, and second is the best, but third is the one with the hairy chest," or whatever it was.
And then some guy from Scranton, Pennsylvania goes, "Nay, my friend, no. Third is the turd." And
just spread around that's the original viralness.
It's pretty outstanding stuff. Speaking of viral activity, man, I'll tell you, our thumbs up have been going great lately, and so great, in fact, that we actually have a brand new thumb for our resident mascot.
Larry gets a new thumb today. This is where we were at. If you're new to the show, this is Larry. He keeps track of our all-time thumbs up record. So every time we cross 150 thumbs up on a previous video, we add a new thumb to Larry. So we didn't quite get there on the last one. We were at 149 before we added this. So he got half a thumb. That was sort of a freebie for everybody, just to give you a little boost of confidence there that we can get there. But we're not going to do that every time. But this is where we were at. 6.5 thumbs was our achievement level. Larry was saying, what's better than 6 thumbs? 6.5 thumbs. And so now today we're going to reveal Larry gets a brand new thumb. Are you ready, Craig?
Let's see. Can I make a prediction where it's going to be?
Sure.
I'm going to say it's going to come out of one of his ears or directly on his nose.
Okay.
I hope it didn't ruin it.
Good guesses. Yeah. Good guesses. All right. You ready? You want to count it down?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, one. And now the world premiere of Larry's new thumb.
Hey, right on his cheek. Nice.
Larry says today, holy crow, I got a thumb on my cheek now.
Oh,
so
no.
There we go. Larry got a brand new set. He's got achievement level 7.5 thumbs. Thanks for giving a thumbs up to our videos. Give this one a thumbs up while you're watching, if you're watching on YouTube. And keep it going. He's going to look like a freak. I mean, like, if he doesn't already in your eyes, to me, it looks like he's just sort of got some, like, bad boils popping out of his face, and he's holding a bunch of hot dogs, but he's going to start looking pretty disgusting.
I got to be honest, I don't really like that very much.
It's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
looking at it.
It's like a scene from Austin Powers where he'd be like, you know, he'd throw in some thumb pun while he's talking to somebody, and he just can't stop looking at it. He does with the mole, right?
There it is. There it is.
Now, wow. I'd say my favorite thumb addition so far is the thumb that's protruding out of the thumb.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. I'm waiting for you just to give him another thumb on his left hand.
Well, that would be too easy.
Just a regular thumb, you know. It's like he just needs an extra thumb, you know. So
well, you never know. Cross your fingers, cross your thumbs,
thumbs,
and maybe next time we'll go easy on Larry.
Well, you know, I think it's really good. We're going through all the staples to start the show, and I'm glad you guys have been a part of this so far. We actually have another staple, which we had yesterday, but we're going to put a little sooner at the start of the show today because we want to make sure you guys saw it. Yesterday's episode went pretty long, an hour and 15 minutes. That was the longest episode ever. But you know, who's counting? But I will tell you this: we want to bring this game back. That's true, because we want to know
what the heck is that. Great segue, Craig.
Thanks. I'm
Great
on fire
segue.
today. I'm on
what
fire.
do you think of that new bumper?
It's kind of annoying, but it's all right.
I love it. That's my voice. Do you want me to do a live performance of it?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll pop it up on the screen.
All right. Here we go. Let's go. Boom.
There it is. What the heck is that? It's your job to let us know in the comments and guess. What the heck is that? Now, I will say, somebody out there has for the first time in our history of this show has got
all 47 episodes.
All 47 episodes. This is the first time. This is like, what is this? Our third installment of what the heck is that? Fourth, I think, maybe 3. I don't know. Yeah, this is our fourth. I titled it as, I think I saved it as 3, but this is 4. So somebody out there has gotten it already, and I try to find some things that are going to stump you. But you guys go ahead and guess, and we'll reveal it on Friday's show.
Wow, it's pretty good. Guess we'll find out. We'll find out on Friday. I can feel the tension just mounting in the chat.
I kind of wish. Look, that now that I know somebody got it, I know I got to put on the Gaussian blur a little bit more.
A little bit more. The Gaussian.
Gaussian
blur. Isn't that what it's called?
Gaussian blur. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in France it's Gaussian.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like a cheese.
And down in New Orleans it's Gaussian.
Gaussian cheese.
Gaussian. All right, let's do this. Okay. Look, the big topic of the day. We are not talking about COVID today. All right. We look. Hold on. Would you like to see? Let me just sit. Let me show you really quick. Well, the first thing I got from my brother this morning after yesterday's conversation, Brad sent me this, which is a chart of the deaths for COVID this year. And that's the first thing I got this morning. So I'd like to thank you for just
starting
my day off with a great bang. Just reminding me what a travesty we're having right now.
Just keeping you up to date on the things. You know, we're not going to talk about it for too long, but the article that I saw today that popped out, I think I sent this one to you, but the CDC recommends that there be no cheering during the Super Bowl football game. So make sure you keep your voice down. Yeah.
Sounds reasonable. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the big story today. This was such an important story that I received a text from you, and my wife barged in the middle of a live stream to proclaim. Did you know Screech died today?
Yeah.
Screech.
Terrible
Dustin Diamond. We all know at this point it is. I'm sure it's been all around social media. I'm sure it's been a very big deal. But Dustin Diamond, the man who played Screech from Saved by the Bell, passed away at the age of 44 today.
Yeah, that's terribly young. It's a sad story. And look, I'm wearing Saved by the Bell shirt. I've worn this quite a few episodes, but look, we got, where is he? Oh, there he is. There he is, right there.
Yeah, there he is. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Nice. It's a tribute. Well, it's a tribute to the man.
Real quick, before we get into Screech, you've actually had one-on-one interaction with Dennis Haskins, who played.
That's right. I totally forgot. Yes, I have. I met. I don't know why I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about Dustin Diamond today, but Dennis Haskins. Yes, I used to, when I was back in touring colleges, I would do a lot of conferences for where we'd meet students and stuff. So there's a lot of acts there that were like famous actors, bands, magicians. You just totally excited me because I forgot that I had that. But yeah, we met Dennis Haskins. We sat down, we ate a lunch with him one time in between the conference times, and nice guy. I hope he's doing well. That's fantastic. I didn't realize I got a shirt with a guy I met on it. I also met Dave Coulier back then.
Dennis Haskins is still alive. Okay, I thought he passed. Okay,
no.
Okay, whoa, that would have been very bad. I would have felt really bad about that.
So Dustin Diamond is the first. Is he the first to pass away from the original cast then?
Yeah, I have this pulled up here, and I'm just looking at this. Look at, I love that his Twitter's Mr. Belding. Let's see what he tweeted.
Yeah, he owns the Mr. Belding name. Like when he shows up to these college conferences and stuff, he's Mr. Belding. You can just call him that. He's used to it. But yeah, he was a real nice guy. He's one of those guys where he saw us later. I was there with my wife, and he was like, "Hey, Kelly," and you're like, "Oh, cool, you remembered your name." He's nice enough to remember that. So, yeah, that's one of those little celebrity run-ins where.
Did you guys like get dinner with him or something? Or
yeah, we had a meal with him while we were out there, and nice guy.
Is like all you wanted to do, like just talk about Saved by the Bell? Because I'm sure you did, right? Or did you just,
hey, what was it like working? Were you really mad at Mark Paul Gosselaar all the time? No, we had it. I don't even remember what we talked about, but I'm sure I kept my cool.
God, that would have been so hard to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Okay. So Screech passed on today, 44, stage 4 lung cancer, diagnosed 3 weeks ago.
Man.
3 weeks ago, stage 4 lung cancer. That is incredibly.
Was he a smoker? Quite a bit of smoker, or
I don't know. That's a really good question. I'll tell you what, you had an interesting article you wanted to pull up. You want to go ahead and do that real quick? Did you want to talk about some other stuff before that?
No, we can. We're going to be talking about Dustin for the remainder of the episode, pretty much, and talking about different various things.
I'll say this, but before we get into this, I would love for people to share their favorite Saved by the Bell moments, with or without Screech. In the comments, whether you're watching live on Twitch or whether you're watching on YouTube. I would love to hear your favorite Saved by the Bell comments. Our experiences. I pulled up a list of the best Screech. We'll get to your article in just a second. Okay. I pulled up a list of the 7 iconic Screech moments on the show, and this was such a nostalgia blast when I saw this. And you know what? I think they. I rarely am like, usually when it comes to like a list, you're like, oh, they missed this. But I think a lot of these are pretty iconic when they come to Screech. So let's check them out really fast.
Okay.
The spastic dance, the Saved by the Bell dancing to the max with Casey Kasem. Remember this?
How many of you remember Casey Kasem?
And if you recall, he was dancing because Lisa sprained her ankle, and he danced like her to help win the contest, as Lisa couldn't do it. So she would go back and forth, and Screech's this was such a great way for Screech to show his love, his always reaching love to Lisa Turtle. who, you know, obviously nothing ever came of that, which was the biggest travesty of the whole show.
Well, she was horrible to him.
I know.
It's just
Like, I'll tell you, people talk about how Zach Morris is trash. There should be an entire series called Lisa Turtle is trash. Like the most abusive character in all, like the most egotistical, abusive character in all of Saturday morning TV history. Lisa Turtle just constantly berating this little nerd who just wanted some love.
I was totally that guy in high school. Like you put all the effort forth and being like, look, I really like you. And most of the time, you know, Screech's character comes across as sincere, you know, he just loved her. It wasn't that he was like, oh, I want to hook up with Lisa Turtle. No, you know, he was doing sweet things to show affection for this character.
He always said, my sweet, my heart, my love. You know, he'd refer to her as these wonderful things that any girl should anybody would swoon over. You know, oh my, you know, like, wow, this person loves me so much. And she just kept being that gnarly, horrible bitch. Yeah, check this out. Indy throwing this out here right here. Fun fact: the first season based at high school was in Indiana. The later seasons were set in California. It wasn't Bayside then. Actually, it wasn't Bayside when it was in Indiana. It was another school name.
Oh, they were in middle school. They were in middle school.
They were. That was when the show was just called Miss Bliss or Good Morning Miss Bliss.
Yeah.
Before it was rebranded and repackaged as Saved by the Bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Bliss was axed, and they decided to follow the kooky teens as opposed to the nice teachers. So yeah, man, it's funny.
We really got something here. Focus on the teenagers. You know, that's interesting. That's an interesting perspective because, you know, we grow up watching these TV shows and we end up mimicking it. And what did we learn from that? Right? Screech was the chivalristic guy in the show. And he got turned down, but Zach was the jerk and he was always hooking up with the girls. So what did that teach us? You know, it taught us to be arrogant little, you know, punks.
I'll tell you this, like there's a lot of truth. There was a small time in my life where the mantra of if you act like a jerk, the girls will like you.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of truth in that, man. At least there was. I've been out of the game for a while. I plan on being out of the game forever. But at least, you know, in my day, it's very, you know, and I couldn't wrap my head around that for the longest time. So anyway, it was.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys from our generation can relate to that. If you were a nice guy, you know, in middle school and high school, you got turned down, you know, in the 90s. Because like, look at all those movies in the 80s. The jocks were always the tough guys. And like, you know, that's why maybe the new generation's trying to tear down all those stereotypes. I don't know.
Yeah, here you go. Check this out. Miss Mindy coming in. Love this one. This is great. Miss Mindy, who also resubbed tier 1. Thank you so much. Miss Mindy said, I was so sad when Kelly cheated on Zach with that college dude and they had that one last slow dance together. That was soul crushing. Oh yeah, for sure. But also Zach was an asshole. But okay, so let's go to the next little list here on this list of the top Screech moments. They talk about Lisa loving somebody, Violet and Tori Spelling and Screech. So many great moments here with Screech and Violet. Like this was a match made in nerd heaven. And you know, I always love these dances. Like nobody ever dances like this in real life. I get these parties. People dance like this girl back here. Like, am I on camera?
She's like,
I think I want to be on camera today. You know, but
everybody's dancing to their own song in their head while they're filming that, you know, and then they pipe in the background music later in post-production. Look at how many patterns are on Screech's clothes.
Oh yeah, it's outstanding.
Outfits.
Yeah.
How many colors?
But like, and it's fascinating because this is the part where he sings to Violet. And it's so good. But like this relationship right here, this is what Saved by the Bell was all about. So good. Screech and Violet. Next, the Close Encounters of the Nerd Kind. Do you remember when Screech came down as the alien?
Yes, of course. That's a classic.
That's right.
And this guy's dumb enough to believe it.
Well, he's over there trying to talk to him, and
he pulls out the old Star Trek.
right.
We come in peace. That's what the government officials are going to do when the aliens come this year. They're going to be like, Star Trek?
I love the idea that, like, these were the utensils they used to pull off this outstanding special effects. Like, she has a speaker. they have some dry ice in it, and it made it look like this. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So
it's
anyways.
fantastic to go and wait, and then he pulls it off, right?
Yes,
and then he tricks him again.
Yep.
Or he's like supposedly a real alien. Go to where he rips his face off. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. The pull away.
What?
Oh, look. Oh no.
Oh God.
No.
Get out of here.
I'm Zorch. That's right. That's what it was. I'm Zorch. I'm not Screech. I'm Zorch. Then there's this one, the Saved by the Bell Al Bundy impersonation. Where he goes up and, like, this is so dated, it's crazy. He's Al Bundy, like, he's out. Like, they pulled off on NBC Screech doing impersonation of Al Bundy from Married with Children.
Yeah.
Well, how great is that?
We knew what he was doing. You can't show those sketches today to the new generation, and I don't know if they'll get it.
No. And then let's see, what is this? The serenade of the high schools. Oh, the school song. There we go. So, like, there was so many just his mannerisms and such. It's so silly. This was such an emotional part where he rips Zach's shirt because he kisses Lisa.
Yeah. See, that's how terrible Zach is.
Oh. Yes, look at this. Oh my God. Talk about heartbreak there, right? He comes in, and then here comes, he's the MC at Lisa's fashion thing, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And then she comes in, and he's talking about what a dirty dog Zach is. And then then they see each other in school, and what happens? Give him the big rip. Oh, there it is in slow-mo. He says, "I hate you." And he takes it.
Can't do that.
Oh no! And Zach just immediately oh no.
Zach's like, I look a little bit more sexy now. Thanks.
That's right, man.
Hey, sharing all those great scenes, I sent you one of my favorite scenes, and this is little bit. This is. Why don't you share that with everybody? This is a scene that impacted me and how I would carry myself for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Look, this is the way Brad walks into a room. Check this out. See? Wow, Brad's really cool.
And I walk into a room like that every time.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. There it is. Brad is really cool. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, that's shared on my, I'll give myself a little plug here. I've got a little Instagram account called Brad to the Past. If you want to follow me there, I share a lot of my 80s, 90s nostalgia and love there. So
Mike was curious, what about the episode where Kelly starts falling for Screech? I think, that's one of the most fascinating things about I don't remember that at all. Do you remember that? Because I think at every time, in any of these shows, there's always, whether you think of Friends or Saved by the Bell, where there's an ensemble of male and female characters, generally everyone's going to fall in love with each other at some point, right? In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Lilman 464 says Screech was tutoring her. I remember now. It's like every one of these shows, like, you've seen every episode, and even if you can't recall it, like, you just need one little detail. I've seen every episode of Full House. And if in the first, like, 2 minutes of the show, you're like, oh yeah, this is the one where, and then you can, the entire episode. You can do that with, Saved by the Bell for sure.
Let's take a look at this article here. Guys, I love doing this, going down memory lane with you guys. If you guys are enjoying this conversation, please give this episode a thumbs up if you're watching over on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel over on Twitch, hit the follow button. Really appreciate that. Here's your article.
Yeah. I found this on 80skids.com. And it said the sad truth about what happened to Dustin Diamond from Saved by the Bell. They just updated this today. But I found this fascinating because the first thing that popped up was his net worth, which I think is funny because, like, I don't know, like, why do we value people like that? Like, you know, it is interesting because it goes to show you, like, no matter how popular a person is in our brains, in our culture, like, it doesn't mean they're set for life. People have this this idea that, you know, oh, I know who you are. You got to be rich, right? And you know, that's not the case, especially for a lot of these child stars who get, you know, they get stuck into this, you know, one role. And so he played Screech for where was it? We'll come across it. So they just updated this today, and it says Dustin Diamond died on Monday, February 1st, following a short battle with cancer. And it's just a sad, it's a sad situation because, like, what did we say? It was like 4 weeks, 3 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, 3 weeks after he was initially diagnosed. But obviously diagnosed with stage 4 cancer is, you know, you're pretty late in the game.
Pretty far along, but golly, just for it to topple over you like that. So, you know, everybody knows he's Screech. You know, we just went through that. Here it goes. He was on the show. Oh, wait, no. The fact that I'm looking for is further down. So I'm going to kind of skip over Saved by the Bell because we just sort of talked about it.
He had to have been like the longest running member of the cast, right?
Right. So his career went from Saved by the Bell as a kid into Saved by the Bell, the new class. And so I'm going to keep scrolling here.
Real quick, I found this interesting note here, talking about royalties from the show as you find your fact here. Talks about the syndication. When Dustin Diamond filed for bankruptcy in 2001, it was reported he was making roughly $65,000 a year just on Saved by the Bell reruns. So you know, that was in 2001, right? And that's obviously gone down dramatically since then. So you know.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So here's my fact that I was looking for this number. 13 years he played Screech continuously, from Saved by the Bell into Saved by the Bell, the new class, and then I think into Saved by the Bell, the college years. So yeah. And so he was 23 at the end, at what you could say was the end of the height of his career, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
So from 10 to 23, I guess, and to fit your entire, you know, the entire staple of your life into those years, you know.
That's the new class. I didn't even remember the new class. Wait, how the new class ran from 94 to 2000?
Isn't that crazy?
Wait, and what? Who are those people?
Yeah, nobody cares. This is why we tuned in right here. Screech and Mr. Belding. That was the only thread keeping us in there for a little bit longer. I had no idea it lasted for 6 years. And I could not tell you anything about that show other than what I'm seeing. So,
do you want to know an amazing fact? This is going to blow your mind. Hold on. How many episodes? No way. This can't be accurate. How many episodes? Okay. No.
Craig. Hey. Now what is going on here?
Okay, look. How many episodes of Saved by the Bell do you think there were?
Less than 250?
86.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
How many episodes of Saved by the Bell, the new class, were there?
Less than 250?
143.
Wow.
There were almost double the amount of episodes of Saved by the Bell, the new class.
That's crazy. And it made zero impact on our culture.
Yeah. I mean, here you go. Look, this is insane. Here's the Saved by the Bell. It says right here, 86 episodes.
There's only 86 episodes. I could have sworn it would have been like
143.
like they crossed over like a,
Wow.
crazy milestones. But I guess like, I don't know, how many episodes were there of Seinfeld? Would that have been like in the 200 range or something?
Way more than that, I think. But so,
Yeah.
well, between Saved by the Bell, let's see, there was the college years, which was 19 episodes. There was then there was like the movies, Saved by the Bell, the Hawaiian, the Hawaiian style, and then the
Right.
wedding, right?
Yeah. Maybe
So-
that's why it seems like there's much more. And especially because you're watching kids grow up from middle school age to high school. And so those days felt like forever. So maybe the episodes just felt like forever.
I'm sorry, I got to find out real quick. I got to find out who these people are. Like, who are the characters? Who were the characters in Saved by the Bell: A New Class? I legitimately have no idea. Let's see. The first season of cast included Robert Sutherland Tether. Okay, well, it doesn't really say they're. I want to know who these characters are.
The main character was Zark Mortis and
Scott Erickson,
A.B. Slater, and
it's right, because there's this kid Weasel, Isaac Lidsky. He went by Weasel. He was the Screech. That's right. I remember that and being like, this is.
Oh, yeah.
This
They did have they had a new Screech. I do. His name is Weasel.
Weasel.
That's not too far off from Zark Mortis. Like, let's just put in another Screech there.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I want to read these off for you real quick, and tell me if they just didn't try to hit copy paste on this. Okay, this is like legitimately kind of insulting. All right, Scott Erickson. Scott is the school's schemer in the mold of his predecessor Zach Morris. Okay, he's also a transfer from rival Valley High School. Okay. Ooh. Weasel is the nerdiest kid in school and tends to be the successor to the original series Screech. Tommy is the jock of the game. Megan is the show's brain or overachiever.
Oh.
Lindsay is the most popular girl at Bayside High.
Of course, yes.
Vicky is the neurotic best friend of Megan. She is a cheerleader and develops a crush on. And then there's like, it's literally copy and paste.
Yeah. Copy
and paste.
Well, I guess after so many years of a winning formula, they're just like, let's just carry it on over. Like, why don't they just like recast it and just keep Zach Morris the name and A.B. Slater the name?
Well, Chancho says Saved by the Bell was before my time, but The New Class was my time. I don't remember that show. Oh man,
nobody does. It's a phantom show because everybody, I think more people would probably remember Saved by the Bell the college years because we grew up with it, right? The dedicated audience of the original Saved by the Bell skipped right on over The New Class and was like, well, I want to see Zach and I want to see AC Slater and where they go. And so
fascinating stuff. Real quick, I missed this and I want to make sure I get this, but Indy Jones says the murder mystery episode might be my favorite episode. My favorite Screech quote goes from that episode. Oh, so the dog lied. Cracked me up when I was a kid. Yeah, the murder mystery episode was pretty outstanding. I remember that one pretty good. They had the French maid. She was in there and she's all flirty with Zach Morris and stuff, right? Which was pretty risque. You want to go back to your article real quick?
Oh, sure. So after his, stint, 13-year stint on Saved by the Bell, he essentially, it says, on the big and small screens, Diamond's career failed to hit the heights he reached as a teenager, though high-profile roles have occasionally come his way. There were cameos on American Pie Presents The Book of Love and Dickie Roberts, former child star. He tended to always sort of show up as himself.
It's kind of like how what's the kid's name from Family Matters? Did I do that? Right, Jaleel White.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He would always show up as that guy,
Right, yeah. So I don't know what happened in his life to sort of make him start taking the turn into scandals, but he created a sex tape in 2006. It was bizarrely titled Saved by the Smell. The X-rated video purportedly featured Diamond in a threesome with two women. So I don't know, never saw it, never even heard the title of it until just now. Saved by the Smell. Okay. Nice. And then and then in 2009 he wrote a memoir, and this is sort of where things really broke off from him in the original cast, because he wrote this book, or he had a ghostwriter write this book for him, and it's basically filled with a lot of lies and controversy about what happened behind the scenes of Saved by the Bell. And apparently there's a lot of stories of sex, drugs, and wild parties. Right. And this made everybody sort of get away from Dustin that was on the original cast, and that's why he wasn't really invited to reunions and things like that. So he kind of found himself dug into this hole. And you know, did you ever see Saved by the Bell, the unauthorized story?
I did. Yes, I did see that. And it's funny. Didn't we? I feel like we talked about that on the podcast not so long ago.
Yeah.
Where we talked about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. And it was one of those things where you see it and you're like, that really sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a like a Lifetime channel or something like that, or like a TBS special maybe. But like there's the Saved by the Bell unauthorized story and the Full House unauthorized story, where they get these really campy people to portray these characters you know and love so much, and it's just an awful story. So I think a lot of the Saved by the Bell unauthorized story was based on Dustin Diamond's book, actually.
Right.
So go ahead.
That was 2014, by the way. That feels like it was much longer.
The movie.
Yeah.
So later he was arrested for possession of a switchblade knife that he had. So things, you know, he's run into some problems throughout his life. It's a sad story because, you know, we get so caught up in celebrating a character that this guy played, but none of us seem to really know him. So, you know, I don't know. You know, it's one of those things where when a celebrity dies, and I think about this every time a celebrity dies, where we all just sort of relish in their talent and the characters that they made or the music that they made, right? But more often than not, we really almost shouldn't be celebrating the person. I'm not saying Dustin Diamond was a bad guy, because I never met him. I don't know him, right? But a lot of times their life choices weren't really a good example. That's why I think we idolize their characters, right? Those set the good example.
I think that a lot of people who, you know, like we're sitting here doing this kind of like eulogy to Dustin Diamond, right? But in reality, we're doing it to Screech, right? And I think for the most part, and I talk about nostalgia quite a bit, right? I think when people are upset or they get sad, like, you know, people are like, oh man, this is, you know, I can't believe Screech is dead. Like, number one, it's a reflection on their own mortality. They look at it and they go, wow, he was just a kid. I remember when he was a kid, and now he's dead. And then number two, it's a direct reflection on their nostalgia to when they were watching that show made them feel good, right? Yeah. Saved by the Bell made them feel happy, and Screech made them feel happy. And that's what they're most upset about. You know, in reality, we haven't seen Screech in 20 plus years, right?
Right.
We've only seen Dustin Diamond get in trouble and appear in sex tapes and appear on boxing matches and whatever, right?
Cameos, right?
Get arrested. And, you know, so like it's one of those things where I think most people are upset about those things. And I hope that people can separate those two. And it's okay to feel those things. It's totally okay to feel those things when it comes to, you know, just the feeling of nostalgia attached to that. And I think that says a lot about the character as a whole. And Dustin Diamond, for playing that character, he may have been just a kid, but he brought other kids a lot of happiness, you know, when he was just a kid. You know, he gave a lot of kids the opportunity to relate to somebody. You know, my name down there, Craig is Screech. I think everybody was Screech at some point in their life. Everybody wanted to be Zach Morris, but in reality, they were Screech. And you know, we were all a bunch of dorks. And Screech was by far the most relatable character to everybody, because even the cool kids were still insecure when it came. You know, they all were just hoping to stay cool. You know, but in reality, as everybody has a little bit of Screech in them. Not everybody has AC Slater. Not everybody has Zach Morris. Everybody has Screech in them.
Yeah. I think that in that stipulation probably hindered him so badly in trying to move his career forward after that show, because when you play a geek and a nerd, right? And then like you look at where Mario Lopez ended up like hosting, like, what does he host? Entertainment Tonight or something like that nowadays. And he's a host on a lot of things because he's dashing and he's good looking and he's got a nice physique. And that trails all the way back to who? AC Slater, right? That his character of AC Slater helped him, right, in getting to his next gig, whereas the character of Screech probably didn't really help him move forward in his career, because they just wanted more Screech, right? Oh, you're the dorky guy. Well, you can come on as the dorky guy, but you can't come on as a detective,
right?
You know. You can't come on as a serious guy. We've only ever seen you goofy, and that's what people are going to want when they see you. So it's just an interesting perspective. Somebody had brought up in the chat about other movies, and I had pulled this up before this show as well, because I didn't want to just focus on Screech. He does show up in different movies. We watched Big Top Pee-wee not too long ago, and he's got a small role in there as a kid, where all the grown-ups eat the hot dogs and they all shrink down to kids. Dustin Diamond's in that role.
He was in Big Fat Liar.
Yeah, my kids love Big Fat Liar. I can't remember his role in this movie, but they actually really love this movie. And look, there's, what's that girl's name? What was her name? I'm gonna pull it up. She's had a hard go of it too. Why can't I find her name?
Yeah.
Amanda Bynes. Good grief, she's had a rough go of it. And I think it's because they get sort of stuck in these ideas of who they're supposed to be,
Right.
And then a bunch of whole random movies, right? Big Money, Restless, Pauly Shore's Dead. I don't know. I've never heard of any of these.
Yeah, never. It was in an Elvira movie. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Pretty fascinating to say the least. Chacho comes in. This reminds me of a joke, a dark joke. Guy number one. Do you know John Smith? Guy number two. I'll be guy number one. I'll be guy number two. You go.
Okay. Do you know John Smith?
Oh yeah, John's an ass. He was mean to his kids and kicked puppies. He died the other day. What? Oh no. John was so kind and handsome and saved kids from fires. This is what this Screech thing reminds me of. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll say this. I think Screech, as I say Screech, Dustin Diamond, he was typecast, right? And he had a hard time moving on, letting people move on from him being Screech. He had this tremendous success as a kid, and then from there on out, he was Screech, right? And that was hard. He couldn't get past that, and he couldn't let people get past that. Like for me, people go, oh, I really love Screw Attack, right? I really, really enjoy that. I don't want Screw Attack to be my legacy. I want Screw Attack to be a point in my life when I was young, right? Mm-hmm. Same with Game Attack. Game Attack is a footnote in my life, right? Mm-hmm. I have bigger goals than both of those things, as I move on and go. So I hope that, in my career, my life, that I'm able to move past those things and be an amalgamation of everything that I've done throughout my career, and in both personally and professionally, as opposed to just really feeling like, oh well, that's the Screw Attack guy, that's the Game Attack guy, or whatever, Yeah. And I feel like that for me, that's something that it took me a while, because there were people like, oh, you're the other guy from Screw Attack, blah, 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 blah. You're the guy who do this, whatever. You're the top 10 guy, whatever. And it's like, at a certain point, you just gotta be like, yeah. If that's how you want to see me, that's cool, and you just keep chugging along towards other things.
It has to do with the point in which they connected with you, right? That happened to me a lot with the Screw Attack stuff that I did with you, Unaware Steve, right? Like I had a whole music career going at that time, and I was touring the country as a recording artist, and like but there was like a small group of fans that only knew me as Unaware Steve, and they comment on my YouTube videos, on my music videos, and they just go, "Hey, it's Unaware Steve." And that was just something that we did for fun when I showed up at the office, and like we didn't plan for it to be anything. I didn't plan for it to be anything. But people still to this day, I'll get a random comment at some point, throughout the year, "Unaware Steve."
Yeah.
Like, sure,
Exactly.
fine.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it, man. Look, Screech was a character we all loved. Dustin Diamond was a guy we never knew. And,
That's true.
So I hope that, it goes without saying, I hope Dustin Diamond's family is okay. I hope his friends are okay. Outside of the character he played, we didn't know anything about him. So, once again, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share your favorite Screech moments on Saved by the Bell. And we'll kind of go from there. So
I think that's real interesting that we just devoted 50 minutes to a guy we didn't know.
We devoted 50 minutes to a character that we loved.
I know, it's just it's funny. But that's very true. Very true. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Once again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button over on YouTube. If you're watching over on Twitch, you can find me over on twitch.tv/CraigSkits, but you're already here, so that's great. Hit the follow button. And if you got any Prime subs laying around, if you got Amazon Prime, consider using it on your boy. I greatly appreciate that. Help support the show and grow just a little bit more. We did reach 110 patrons, which is amazing. Who's going to be that 111th? 111, which is outstanding. So good. So amazing to hear. I'd like to thank Zach Bleggy and Anna Lopez for coming in and bring brand new patrons. So thank you guys very much for the support. Greatly appreciate that. We'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 48. Possibly.
What?
I hope we make it.
I hope we get there. Jeez, I'll pray.
Of Weekdays with Craig and Brad. See you tomorrow.